Welcome into the Rowdy Studios, ladies and gentlemen, where today we talk to SceneDaily.com's Bob Pockrass about the burning issue in the NASCAR garage.
There's only one.
Carl Edwards' contract. Bob, you are on Carl Watch this week.
Do you have a graphic that flashes up? Carl Watch 2011.
No, I don't have a graphic.
We'll make you one.
Will you? Thank you.
We'll make you a graphic.
How big of a
But I
deal?
bet J.D. Gibbs has one.
How
and
big
I
of
bet
a
Jack Roush has one.
How big of a deal is this between these two teams and Garage
You're
Watch?
talking about a guy who many people believe is great, going to wins several Cup championships. I would say, at least 2 or 3. A guy who has 19 wins already, and this is Carl has said he wants to make a decision for his career. I mean, this is where he's going to go, and he doesn't plan on having to go through this a whole lot again.
This is a career-defining contract.
Exactly. So it's a big deal for both teams because they know they can be getting a superstar.
Well, he's the biggest free agent we've had since Junior left DEI for Hendrick, right? I mean, pretty much.
Pretty much, I would say so. I mean, other guys have renegotiated their contracts, but I would say as far as
guy out there on the open market.
Exactly. And you got to remember when Junior was negotiating his deal, also, did you have Kyle Busch trying to figure out what he was going to do?
Oh, right.
So, and obviously that turned into a big, the results of it, I would say, been pretty impactful.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Now, let me just ask you this. How much longer can this go on? Because
I think by the time this video is over, depending on how long
he could have already told him his decision.
It could already be done. So, get this up quick because
it'll be obsolete.
Got that, Tom?
Yeah, he's gonna have to decide soon because I think everybody's ready for him to make a decision, and I think he's ready to make a decision. I mean, how much more negotiating, how much more leverage can he pull? I mean, he's already #1 in points.
Yep.
He's competing for wins on virtually a weekly basis, I would say.
Except for last week.
Yeah, but beyond that, he's got to decide. People want to know. People need to know to start making plans for next year.
Now, Jeff Gordon said over the weekend, someone asked him about Carl's contract, and he said he definitely sees Carl as one of the guys to be for the championship. But if Carl announces he's leaving, he said it's done. There's no way Carl's winning the championship. Your response, Bob Pockrass?
My response is, when was the last time Jeff Gordon was in that situation? He's never been in that situation. I mean, the only thing maybe he saw is when Kyle Busch was leaving Hendrick, maybe he felt like it had an impact on them. But, I think I look at it this way. Jeff Gordon is going to be contending for the championship. Who's one of the guys he's going to be contending for the championship against?
Carl Edwards.
Carl Edwards. So if he can put doubt in their mind.
But, Bob, come on. Knowing Jack Roush, don't you think that if Carl says, I'm leaving, Jack Roush, I mean, look at the way Jack Roush and Kurt Busch parted ways.
Yeah, but I still think that was a little bit different. There was a lot of animosity.
It was a little bit different, but I just don't see.
I think it was a lot of bit different. And I think here's the thing. As long as Carl Edwards is in competition to win the title, I think everything's fine. If he has a 25th place finish at Chicago or New Hampshire or Dover, and he's like 8th in points,
and
then
he's leaving, and we're just going to pull the plug.
Yeah, then it implodes, and Matt Kenseth and Greg Biffle get all the good stuff.
Well, let me ask you this. There's been some talk that the car manufacturers, namely Toyota and Ford, are a part of this process now. How big a deal do you think that is? And do you think that, in a sense, Ford is now coming back to see if they can sweeten the pot to help Jack keep Carl?
I think it's a big deal. I mean, I think they work with the teams and the drivers, and, they may have some personal services with the drivers themselves. I think they like to keep their money flowing through the teams as much as possible. So, I think it's bigger for Ford almost than it is for Toyota. I mean, Carl is considered kind of a Ford spokesman. I mean, he's the guy,
right?
Always, you talk about what makes him attractive as a driver. Part of that is his sponsor relations and his ability to pitch products. So I think he's been pitching Ford for so long. To have him leave, there'd be more damage to Ford than I would say benefit to Toyota.
Is it possible? And I know we've been speculating wildly, especially Cutler and I, for weeks now.
Because that's what we do.
That's what we do, Bob. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? And the longer it goes, the more like it seems he might go. And now I'm kind of wondering, well, maybe he really wants to stay and he's waiting for Jack and Ford to just sweeten the pot just enough so he can stay. Is there any way to read the tea leaves? Do you have a gut feeling either direction?
I think your eyes and your gut say he's leaving, but your head.
So you have a head and heart disconnect.
Yes, I think when you look at Carl
Sounds
Edwards,
like you need your chakras aligned.
when you look at Carl Edwards, he's known for saying one thing publicly and then kind of taking care of the mess behind the scenes.
Right. So there is a behind the scenes.
Unless there's Brad Keselowski, and then it's just
right. Or Matt
flipping him
Kenseth
on the
at Martinsville, but
right.
you know.
So I find it really tough to just take what Carl says and try to read a lot into it, and I think that's what makes this whole speculation thing
speculative.
More speculative than fact. I think that only a few people really know.
Yep.
You know, as far as up until this weekend, what's going on. I certainly believe that if Carl had a deal done with Gibbs, he had not told the people at Roush Fenway.
Yeah, all right. And if he did, he really should go ahead and do it. So.
Yeah.
Well, and Bob needs to get back on Carl Watch. We've kept him away from his phone far too long.
Carl Watch 2011 continues and will be there with our coverage for Bob Pockrass and Buzz Cutler. My name is Bass Masters.
You think it's possible Carl Edwards could go to the Miami Heat?
Take his talents to South Beach? I don't know, man.
More likely the Cavaliers.
Can he rebound? Can he play D? Because they don't need another scorer on that team.
Oh.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.